So we were Shambho, Mahadev, Mahadev, Mahadev. Last chapter, the Prastava was about the Mana. Manu, from the Manu which has come is Mana, Manushya. The one who has got a mind or Manasa. Mana, like many words in many words, Mana is also a word which is created for the purpose, which is not existing, for the purpose of understanding only. Because there is no object there. Mana is an imaginary field actually, perception. It is also, as I always said that, it's a combination of the thoughts and the emotions. Thoughts and emotions have no shape and form. There are no reasons. They are there. What is the shape of the akara, of the vichara? What is the akara of the emotion, vikara? So neither the vichara nor the vikara has any form and shape. And a combination of this together is the Mana. Mana is only an abstract which has been created for the purpose of one to understand the faculties of the Antakarana. That's why medical science had difficulty in understanding and accepting the concept of mind. Of late, some researchers have definitely identified, yes, there is something called mind. Otherwise, according to medical science, because there is no physical organ. Medical science is purely based on the theory and substance of the physical appearance of an organ. If there is something there, physically there, then only that can be repaired or replaced. Yes, that's something which is not there. How can one heal that? So the properties of healing of mind is not incorporated in medical science. There is no word called healing of the mind. This is only in the Shastras, this is only in the such sciences where we call it as occult sciences. It's also, but the mind has been used extensively, starting from small, day-to-day life to where the great saints, they have used the word mind. Even the doctors have used it as mind, but there is no process of physical healing there because there is no physical organ of mana as it is concerned. But it is not necessary, or it is to be understood that the whole lot of the physical body which is visible to your naked eyes in the materialistic world is guided by that which is invisible and ununderstandable. Nobody could understand the mind. Even today when we are talking with the syllables of inference, that's all. Not with a physical definition. you see. With various inferences we relate that something like mind. Like we said, Akasha. What is Akasha? Akasha is what? Space, that's all. There's nothing called Akasha. Akasha is what? Space. Like that, like we have defined Akasha, we are also defining about the mind. That's why mind is always related with Akasha also in the science, because which is not recognizable, which is not identifiable, which is not related with anything. It is an independent unit by itself, and Akasha is same thing. Everything comes under the Akasha, we said, and everything comes under the Mana. Everything comes under the Akasha and everything comes under the Mana. Mana, but it is there. Even though its presence is not identified by the material science, it has proved a number of times, time and again, its presence is there. The mind's presence is there. Even though the thoughts and other things are classified through the waves and electromagnetic waves from the brain, how these are created, how this magnetic field is created, how these thoughts are created from those impulses in the brain. Those impulses in the brain are, how is it happening in an automatic pattern? Well, if you keep on asking questions, such questions, you will find there is no answer to it, because there is nothing. You can have answers to only those which are perceivable by you, or which can be heard by you, or seen by you, or felt by you, or by the Indriyas. That which are felt by the Indriyas is recognizable by the mind. So it was related to Indriyas, so it was related to the perception of the ideas of the Indriyas into that abstract, which they called it as mind, Manaha. Manaha has been derived, the word has been derived since the Janma has come from the Brahma Srishti, and Manu. Since it has come from Manu Putras, from the Manu, so the one who is associated with Manu, who are all connected with the Manu, have been said that it is the one with Manu's properties is called mind, Mana. Manu is a Srishti which is without a biological Srishti, like Manasa Putra they said. Maha Rishi, Deva Rishi Narada is Manasa Putra. Sanatkumaras are Manasa Putras. What is that Manasa Putra? From the thought he has been projected. From where the thought has come to him, from where that has come and how it has been projected, how the projection has created, that is possible. When you project your thought constantly, it happens. So when Brahma has constantly thought about the creation, it has happened. It is possible. Even today it is possible, even with you it is possible. You can keep thinking about something constantly. It happens. With a firm conviction, if you keep on focusing on that, in the atmosphere, all sorts of properties are there. When you concentrate on those molecules, those molecules of the similar characteristics will assemble together and form a perception that is created by you in your mind and will be projected according to that. These projections, depending upon the intensity of the projection, this can be seen by others. If it has a low intensity of vibrations, this can be seen only by you, not by others. If the vibration frequency of this intensity is very high, then his projections can be seen by any living being. This is possible because they are related to the vibrational frequencies of the mana, mind, thoughts and emotions. So when thoughts and emotions are controlled, which is known as the control of the mind. Ekagrata of the mana, that means the concentration of the mind. Concentration itself is a self-defined word. That which is spread all over, when you bring it together to one point, is called concentration. Yes. A liquid, when it is boiled, comes to a particular point which cannot be boiled anymore. A concentrated form of that particular liquid, we call it. It's a concentrated form. Same way, a concentrated form of the mana, that means the varied tastes, varied habits, varied behavioral pattern which is scattered all over, when it is assembled together and brought it together, is called a concentration of the mind or concentrated mind. Ekagrata. This is also in the Shastras and Vedas, they have also told about Chitta, Chittam. The Chitta is also like that. It is either it is mana or it is a part of the mana. So this is how the Srishti of the, now you can understand, we are talking about something which is not known to us, which is not seen by us, but we strongly believe it is there because of the experiences. There is something which is beyond the physical actions or making the physical actions to happen by certain combination processes. That means similarly, various process of combinations, we should believe that it can happen. Yes. We are believing there is mana. We are believing there are emotions. Where are the emotions coming from? Just by speaking a word, or just by seeing a scene, or just by listening to a particular shabda, or any or shabda, sparsha, rasa, rupa, gandha, in any of these things, any effect takes place. The physical body, mind or the mana creates an emotion. How this emotion appears, you see, and it is projected through the indriyas and the sharira. So we call it as the emotions are coming from the mana. Even the words are there specifying the mana is the one which creates, which understands, which distributes, which delivers the objective ideas from you. So the mana holds that which is not there with you, or that which is not there visible in you, holds the utmost importance in you in order to guide your sharira, mind, sharira, brain and any organ of the body is directed and guided, directed by that which is invisible property, that property which is invisible to anybody's eyes, any instrument. Nobody could measure the mind, but we always told the power of mind. There is a word, power of mind. It is used by everybody. It is used by all, even scientists use it. Scientists have also used it, power of mind. Well, scientist means the real good scientist in the sense. Einstein has used it, power of mind. Einstein has written about power of mind. In fact, after his inventions, he has written. There is a definite mention by Einstein about the power of mind. Now, what is this mind and what is its powers? What do you mean by the power of mind? Yes. Power of muscle, power of bones, power of eye, power of ear, we can understand. The same way, the power of the mind only indicates about the strong induction or instruction the mind can deliver to the organs to proceed with. Now this mind, this thought has a pattern. And these patterns, we have already discussed this pattern comes from the experiences that you had. That which you have not experienced, you cannot think. It's not possible. In expectations also, either it is experienced, and the next classification is expectations. The expectation is also, you should understand in one way, we don't specifically mention about expectations because expectation is also based on the experience only. Having experienced this, sometimes we think the opposite of this will make me good. Because this has made me bad, the opposite of this will make me good is an expectation. There is no concrete proof to that. It's only an assumption, a presumption, that's all. There's no firm conviction that what expectation should be right, even though it is based on the experience. Yeah? They are all created by the mana. So these are all called the power of mind. So anything, the thought that is coming to the mind, mana, or the antakarana, that's why a word called antakarana is there together, all the three together. Yes, indriyas, mana, vichara, vikara, and the indriyas, actual happenings. Buddhi. Buddhi vikara and vichara put antakarana. This is antakarana, inner faculty. They call it as inner faculty or antakarana. Yes, this antakarana, mana is a part of the antakarana, that which happens in the mind. So everything that is before an action is done, before an action is taken, it happens in the mind, they say. It happens in the mind. That which is not visible again. So, as I said, that which is not visible, same way, the prana is not visible, mana is not visible, atma is not visible, antakarana is not visible. Up to the indriyas, and the function of the indriyas are those which are ultimately, one can say, which is visible, that's all. After that which is there in the visibility and visible, through an experience when it is transmitted to a field of unknown, a touch, the feeling of touch is transmitted to a field of unknown, actually. You call it as a brain. From the brain, where it goes? This is analysis. Perception. Maybe there is a reading out of that. Where is this reading goes? And on that basis, there has to be a reaction also. It is not only a reading. A reflection can take place, no doubt about it. A reading can be done. What is the intensity pressure of the touch? What is the smoothness of the touch? What is the time of touch? What is the duration of touch? All these things can be measured. But you cannot measure the sense of touch, cannot be measured. This immeasurable, the immeasurable capabilities, the immeasurable capacities, the immeasurable results are revealed only by that which is invisible. So you understand what I am trying to tell you is that whatever we are doing, we are only submitting to that which is invisible. And a decision is taken in invisible. And an action is promulgated or it is initiated or it is instructed by that which is invisible. Whoever it is, let him be a scientist himself. For a scientist, the thought of doing something itself comes from where? Not from his forefathers, not from his dream. They are from the expectation, that means from the experiences opposite to that which is an expectation or similar to that which is an expectation, which is given to that invisible entity, identity, and that invisible identity, you don't know in which form it directs you. So when we talk about control of the mana, guiding the mana, directing the mana, who directs, who controls, who concentrates the mana, who has got the capacity to concentrate the mana, which organ of your body has the capacity to concentrate the mana. By closing your eyes, can you control the mind? By closing your ears, control the mind. By closing the Panchendriyas function, can you control the mind? If you close all the Indriyas, fine. No activity to that extent, it is okay. What will happen to the thoughts that are coming? Which is the most disturbing factor? Or which is, I won't call it as disturbing, most activating factor for the mind is the vichara, thoughts. Control the thoughts. Do you understand that we are nowhere? That's what I'm making you understanding. Don't have to be proud of having this, that, sharira. Don't have to be proud of owning of anything. Don't have to be disappointed of not having anything. Don't have to be sad. Don't have to be worried because what are you owning? Who is that? How will you control your mind? How will you control your mind? How will you control your thoughts? This faculty of the mind which is called, which is very, very important in the physical body. We are talking about meditation. Yes, answer is meditation. Answer is tapasya. But in order to do the tapasya, the necessary jnanam is to be acquired. Initially, the input has to be stopped first. That means indriya nigraha has to be done first. After the indriya nigraha is done, then mana should not be experiencing for having, creating or having the karma bhalas, which from where this mana can create further experiences or expectations. So it has to be stopped or arrested. When it is arrested, then what happens? Arrested in the sense not that not experiencing. By experiencing you arrest it. Willingly, understanding that it is not required is how one can control it, the activity of the indriyas. After having done that, then you will guide the thoughts whichever thought comes. The thoughts are coming now and they are based on the previous experience and based on the expectations, based on the activity of the indriyas, function of the indriyas. The thoughts are analyzed and brings it to the surface, and then you act according to that. Am I right? So in the thought level itself, if the understanding of the thoughts, who is important there? The understanding of the thought, whichever faculty does it. So we call it as mana. Mana is the one who is identifying the thoughts. So the one who is identifying the thoughts should identify the thoughts based on not my personal experience of the previous life and previous time or the expectation of the future time, but the Sankhya Yoga of the Shastras. I allow the thoughts pass through. My jnanam I am perceiving through the Shastras and the Guru, which is not perceivable by the mind and indriyas or any of my organs, which has not been experienced by me at all, because none of these things many of the people have not experienced. Most of the people have not experienced. That is why the faith is necessary. When the faith is established and when the grace is there, this establishment of the jnanam becomes the mediator of transforming the thoughts into action. So when the thoughts are passed through, filtered through this jnanam, yes, the objectivity will be very clear from the thought. As I said that every action of the human being, every action of every animal, every action of every Jeevatma is meant for liberation. Even the negativity that happens in a human being also is meant for liberation. But unfortunately, since the analysis is not done or this information is not passed through the filtration plant of the jnanam, the unfiltered, unregulated thoughts, depending upon the experience of the indriyas at that point of time, will react through the sharira, and expression is called emotion. Am I right? Or no? If the same thought comes at a particular time and in a particular situation and circumstance, you don't get upset, you don't get angry, you don't get sad, you don't get worried. But the same thing happens in a different situation and circumstance, repeated the same thing, the incident. You get worried, you get angry, you get sorrowed, everything. Alright? You can yourself think about small things. You won't believe, no? We always say that when you eat with friends, you eat little too much. Telling you small things where I can make you feel the presence of the mind, and the sara, what I have told, is right or wrong. Starting from that, when you sit alone and eat, or when you sit with the friends, we always say that we eat little too much and overeating takes place. or in a situation when you are happy. When you eat, you can eat well and it tastes better. But in that same eating is done in a different situation, you don't like it, you curtail eating, you do everything. Is it smooth? Am I right? You get it? Why? What is the connection? You are eating with the same teeth, same tongue, same digestive system, the same individual, and the same food, no difference at all. Yes. But you are not happy. When you are not happy, when you eat, you don't like it. And you cannot eat it. But when you are happy, and you like it, and you are happy, you like it, and when you taste it also. So the taste is connected with the mind. Situation is connected with the mind. Even eating a process which is physically done by you, independently, individually, without anybody's influence. You are the only decision maker how the food tastes for you. There is no influence of anything, is it not? And there itself, these differences takes place. Why? The thought of eating comes through, and through the indriyas, whichever is the present situation at that point of time, which is not very congenial to you, which is not very pleasant to your mind. Now with that experience, when it is filtered through, the reaction that comes from that is dislike. It's called emotion. But when small change, put your situation different, the same thing you like very much. Just opposite to it, not similar, opposite. Within a fraction of a second, the opposite characteristics can be created in you and your taste changes. The same thought, when it is passed through a faculty of the happiness, which is jnanam, everything becomes happy. Correct? Just telling you examples. When you put happiness in between the thought and the action, everything that is produced from that becomes happy. So if I put the Brahma Jnanam in between every thought, everything that you do becomes Brahman. You understand the necessity of having the Jnana Marga. Every action will be only Brahman. There cannot be a mistake. There cannot be a mistake. Only thing the mediator should be, the faculty that which is passing through, filtering through, should be Jnanam. So, in order to do that, what happens? This Jnanam, which is not understood by the Bodham Buddhi, Mano Buddhi Ahankara is the inner faculty or the Antakarana. Mano Buddhi Ahankara. First of all, the position of the Ahankara, I-ness. Where am I? And who am I? And what am I doing? These identifications makes a lot of difference. So, starting from lower. Mano Buddhi Ahankara is the inner faculty. The thought comes to the mana actually. So, when you start from the Ahankara, when the Ahankara is alone, you have sadness. When the Ahankara is happy, your faculty is happy. Your Ahankara is saying that I am so and so. The taste also has got the same taste. The filtration will be done only through that. So the Ahankara has to be identified first. That is why Shastras are necessary. Jnanam is necessary to make your inner faculty, to make you understand what is my ahamkara. The necessity of me and the me, why am I here and what am I supposed to do and what am I doing, why am I doing, this consciousness has to be prevailed upon you at all times, whether you are sleeping or awake. At all times, you may be thinking that how can I think in the sleeping about my ahankara? When you sleep with a certain ahankara, you sleep with that. That's how you will see particular kind of dreams depending upon, based on the ahankara with which you are sleeping. The day you sleep with, so we all say in our houses, hey, before going to sleep, just pray to the God. Some chanting mantras are there. Before bedtime mantra, I have also written in that, our Acharam book, it is written there. Why? To shelve out all the other thoughts and make the ahankara of you as representative of the Brahman. So while sleeping, your dream should be based on that only. So your ahankara is identified there. So your ahankara is there. Ahankara has to be there so long the mana and sharira is there. Ahankara has to be there. Ahankara is meant in the negative way. Ahankara means the representation of the Atman is ahankara. The I-ness, the I. One has to address as I. There is no way. I have explained this, I think, in previous classes somewhere, where people don't address themselves as I. There's no meaning in it. It's okay. Ultimately, he is addressing I only. They say they call themselves as something else. I don't want to tell now. They call themselves as this one. Okay. We also tell the children, no? We say that, no? Arey, mummy bol rahi hai, suno na. Whom are you telling? You're addressing yourself. You see? Is it not? Mummy bol rahi hai, to sunta kyun nahi hai? Whom are you addressing? You're addressing. See here, he did not, even though you say mummy is telling, who are you addressing? The I only. So there is a difference. Now what happened? You made a classification in that. See, you have to go very minutely. This ahankara, tricky. Here what happened? Here you clearly, very, very, very absolutely clearly, through a meditative process, you have identified the I of you as only mother. The you, not as a woman, not as a daughter, not as a wife, not as a so-and-so, not as anything else. You have identified your ahankara as only the mother is why you have addressed you as mummy. This should automatically come. It is not an intentional creation. Today, people are addressing themselves intentionally. That is why in sannyasa the names are changed. Now tell me, Swami Bhutananda, who was Ramakrishna in his right life when he was alive, in the Bhautika Jivan, will his memories and other things will go off when he becomes Bhutananda? No. Then why this name change has been created? There is a purpose behind it. It's not wrong. It is right. The purpose of Bhutananda has been put to him is that from that day onwards, people will start calling him Bhutananda, Bhutananda, Bhutananda. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, don't know. It depends again, depending upon the capacity of someone to perseverance, capacity. He starts feeling himself as Bhutananda. In the sense, if somebody calls Ramakrishna, it should not create a trigger in the mind that somebody is calling me, addressing me. If he is responding to that information, that means he has not changed the faculty of the mind. He should recognize himself as only Bhutananda. Now tell me how difficult it is it not? Only those people who have really transformed can do it. Now do you understand what is Ahankara? Ahankara, you are changing the status of the I-ness. That's all. The status of I-ness has to be changed. How can you change it? Only through jnanam it can be changed. It's not possible otherwise. Through jnanam and tapasya, you have to put yourself into that mold. And you have to identify yourself as that. When you identify yourself as that, then only you will be in a position to live that. That's a problem. Now let me come in that. If you won't understand when I say Bhutananda, living in Bhutananda. But when I tell you some normal examples, you may understand. When a girl gets married, if she lives as a daughter of so-and-so, so-and-so, she can never be a good wife, a good mother. Because her identity is that. Her ahankara is that. So she will not give any importance to the other things. That is why, you see, our old system is fantastic. Their trial, unfortunately it has not, made people conscious, common people conscious, that's a different thing. But the Maha Rishis or great people, our ancestors, have created a system which even now, which sounds very bad today also. That the girl, when she gets married, the father and mother told that from today onwards, your house is that. Your father is so-and-so, your mother is so-and-so. What does it mean? Will it change? Can a mother and father change? It's not possible. You understood what is the principle of that? That's what I am telling. I am not telling about the, will not discuss about the happenings, what is happening today. It's because of non-perception of the right idea behind that. Right intention behind it. To make her conscious that, look, now you are a wife, so long you are a daughter. So you were being taken care. Now you are so-and-so and so-and-so, you have to take care. Now your status has to be changed. If you remain there as a daughter, how will you take care? You will have to be taken care. In a status of ahankara, of daughter, am I right? Are you getting it? In a status of daughter, you have to be taken care, you cannot take care. But in a status of the what is that? The daughter-in-law or the mother, let us say mother, she is leading there. As a mother, she has to take care. It doesn't mean her original recognition of so-and-so's daughter gives away, but that recognition of so-and-so's daughter is eliminated by the acceptance of the new position that you have derived. We do it according to our convenience is a different thing. Same example, when I put to different field, you will accept me, what I am saying is right. Suppose you are a junior manager in an organization and from next day onwards you are promoted to manager. Will you ever say anywhere that you are a junior manager? You will even don't say I was a junior manager. You will only say I am a manager, that's all. Because you don't want to remember that you were a junior manager. Will you? There you accept because benefit. You understood what I am saying? Am I right or wrong? In that faculty that suits you, so you will say, I am a manager. Here, you don't say I am a bahu, I am a, mother, I am taking responsibility, I will still say I am a junior manager, is it not? What is the daughter saying? I am still a junior manager. Where is the ahankara? Ahankara has not shifted, stayed there only. So your ahankara has to shift depending upon the responsibilities you are acquiring in life. I cannot say I am a boy. I cannot say the balya, yavana, kaumara, balya, kaumara, yavana, vardhakya, jara. Can I say I am young, yavana, I am in my yavana, I am in my kaumara? No. You have to accept it. When you accept it, you start living like that. You have to identify your position according to that. I am telling every example. In a person's life, different ages. In person's life, when they change the situation. In the work field, when they change the situation. If he behaves like a junior manager, he can never become a manager. A manager's responsibility is too different. A junior manager's responsibility is totally different. If he start acting as a junior manager, he will not be regarded as a responsible officer by the organization. See, he has to be that. When from manager he goes to another tastika, another promotion, if he gets, he has to behave like that. He cannot be behaving as a junior man, even though I was a junior man. I joined as a junior man. I might have been a junior man. I was a small. Everybody starts their career small. But doesn't mean that a chairman of the company should behave as a peon of the company. Should he? Or should think at least. He can behave, but he cannot think. He should be in that state the same way. A girl, when it is like that, or when it is like that, has to be that. Then only this ahankara will change, is what I am saying. Then only that acceptance of that position has to be there. Am I right? So if that is the case, why not here? If my purpose of living is for the liberation, why not I go through the Brahmajnanam? So I have to accept my ahankara. So Mano, Buddhi, ahankara is what I was trying to explain you. Ahankara, how to change the ahankara. Now in order to change the ahankara, for this one needs the acceptance, and in order to have the acceptance, one should have the jnanam. Only a jnani can accept the position of changes and live in that. This is why I said about the sannyasis also. Jivan mukta sannyasis. Whatever is provided, whichever is that, accept. Jivan mukta. That is why Bhagavan Shiva is symbolized with the animal skin wrapped around him. Jivan mukta. No classification of it. Doesn't mean that he is like that. Only representing to tell us that, he is not conscious about it. One who is in the fashion world, they will take care of their body, they'll take care of their clothes, they'll take care of their physical presentation. That's the fashion world, yes. How unfashionable is the mind doesn't matter there. How unpresentable is the mind doesn't matter there. Only the physical presence is to be presentable. That too, not according to your choice, to others' choice. Am I right? Now you see, for that person has to accept it. Then only that person can perform well. There the ahankara has to change according to that. Otherwise, one will not be successful. But that has to be temporary. Now, so many series of temporary things will create complication in the mind, cannot have a permanent solution for the mind to be stable. So, ahankara, mano, buddhi. So, here the ahankara has to be led by the buddhi. Buddhi is the one, the intelligence is very important. Intelligence. Have to analyze the pros and cons of life. Am I supposed to be putting myself in the position of ahankara only for the convenience and suffering throughout the life? Or should put myself as in that position and accept it and understand it and go through it so that I can get liberated from the life? Has to be learned from the buddhi. Buddhi has to give the advice to the ahankara. Ahankara should behave according to that. That's why we say, uska buddhi bhrasht ho gaya. Means, the buddhi started advising wrong, is bhrasht ho gaya. Bhrasht is that? Untouchable. Bhrasht. Bhrasht is that again. Again, that will come because of the mana. What it perceives from the mana. So the training should be, one is that ahankara. You understood what is the ahankara? In whichever position you are. When you are here, you are a disciple of the jnanam that is being transmitted to you through the Upanishadic textures. This position has to be received by you, accepted by you, and you have to put yourself in that position. You will find absolute pleasure in listening to Shastras. Otherwise it will be a punishment, because it's not very pleasant to listen to, like what is that? Kalyani Raga. I don't know what is Kalyani Raga. I heard about the name. Ananda Bhairavi. It's not pleasant as that. But what happened? The truth, when it comes, you start liking it. The face becomes glowing. That's why we say, face is the mirror of the mind. That's it. Why? Because the mind, when it transmits its presence through mano, buddhi, ahankara, when your ahankara status changes to the disciple, in this position, disciple, and when the Shastras, Patana is going on, you have the pleasure of, because you are accepting it in that position, your status is that, your ahankara is that as a disciple, and it is so enjoyable. When it is enjoyable, what happens? Automatically, the physical body and the mamsa peshi, what is mamsa peshi? The muscular body, muscles of the bodies. They all will get relaxed. When you accept certain position, they get relaxed. When they get relaxed, there will be a mandahasam automatically. It is not intentional. Somebody says when you are meditating, there should be a smile on your face. Now, the meditator very difficult. Meditator is busy in smiling only. Maha Rishi did not. Tapasvi, Maha Rishi did not mean that smile, Have you ever thought of it? See? What is that he means? What is that he means? He means a very great principle which is not possible by a normal human being for sometimes lifelong. There has to be a mandahasa. Mandahasa is that when the mandahasa comes, when will that smile comes? When the muscles get relaxed, When will it get relaxed? Automatically, otherwise always tensed. Then the other things are all very physical and artificial, as I told you. This comes through when the Mano Buddhi Ahankara, in that when there is a jnanam, the Ahankara is accepting the position, here in this case, the disciple. Shastras are so wonderful because it is enriching, revealing the truth of the Brahman, so beautiful. We say glowing. The glow comes only because of the relaxation of the muscles. When the muscles gets relaxed and the Ananda Rupa or Ananda Bhava, Satya Chitta Ananda. When the Chitta is in the Satya, the result is Ananda. When there is Ananda, the smile is automatic. He is not smiling. His position of the muscles are that, and it appears that he is smiling. Have you seen the gods when they decorate in the temple and all that? Or a cartoonist smiling, crying, the tension, under tension, relaxed. When the gods are, they decorate gods and all, smiling. Bhagavatam or Mahabharatam explains Bhagavan, Lord Vishnu's or Lord Krishna's. When you look at it, he seems to be always smiling. I imagine the position, otherwise that Volini has to be applied. If you are smiling, Volini has to be smiling. 24 hours smiling means Volini has to be applied. That's why the name is also Volini. Violating the initiation of smiling is called Volini. So, okay, jokes apart. The Ahankara, after the position of the Ahankara, when your position is that, what happened? Mandahasam is automatic, a pleasant appearance. Appearance will be pleasant for others. They think it is smiling. Bhagavan's picture when the temple, they always make it as smiling because it is not that he is smiling. It is an automatic process of the Mano Buddhi Ahankara. When it is transformed into that, your stature of the position of the Sharira and the position will automatically change. Becomes calm. It becomes nice. It's become presentable. That's called presentable. The other presentable is different. Buddhi is that the one who can analyze it in the right way, bodha, buddhi. The presence of the mind, they call it. That means, in buddhi, there has to be presence of the mind. But for us, the presence of the mind is only sometimes. His presence of mind was very good at that time. Yeah? How many times your presence of mind was good in your lifetime? There was always a guilt. I should have done like this. I should have done like that. I should have thought of like this. I should not have done it. Had I done like this, would it have been like this? There are so many questions arising in the mind which I am absolutely not sure and getting ultimately confused. Forget about Shanta Swarupa. Shanta has to be brought in front and made her sit, then you can have Shanta Swarupa. Otherwise not possible. Mano Buddhi Ahankara. Buddhi should be that which can analyze it in the appropriate time, in the appropriate manner and transmit it to Ahankara, and Ahankara behaves like that according to the Mana. These are all inner faculties. Mano Buddhi Ahankara, both of us. Bhagavan Vinayak, Vighneshwara, is supposed to be the Lord of Buddhi. Vighna, remover of Vighna. When is the Vighram comes? When you commit a mistake. When you commit something wrong, then a Vighna comes in your life. Wrong karma bhala. Vighna Ishwara means not that, no, for small things, Vighneshwara, when I am cutting my vegetable, please protect me, cutting my finger. Om Ashtaganapati. In Ashtadishas, Ashtaganapati standing in front of, not making you cut or making you cut. Ultimately, stuck. It is not meant for that. Hey Vighneshwara, I am going to steal something, please see that. Vighneshwara. That is not meant for that. Vighneshwara, Buddhi, Lord of Buddhi. Presence of mind, to keep the presence of, so that the Vighna that is supposed to be created by you will get avoided. So Vighna will not be there in life. Who creates the Vighna? The world is not creating, others not creating. We create our own Vighna. So the Vighna, Avighna mastu, they say. Avighna. Let the, as I told you, Pratishthido Bhava, Avighna mastu. Let the Avighna happen. How it can happen? By not doing. So the Buddhi is a Lord of Vinayaka, Vighneshwara is Lord of Buddhi. Appropriately, the Jnanam has to be appropriately utilized at that particular time in the right way through the Ahankara. So Ahankara will identify its position. Buddhi will keep directing the Ahankara to behave like that constantly. It's called Buddhi. Buddhiman. Bodhavan. It's called Buddhi. Not the normal, common intelligence of understanding a subject and executing a subject. Here also, it is understanding and executing an object. There also, it is understanding and executing an object. That's all. But here, the understanding, the Vighna, Avighna mastu, Avighnata, in order to create in your life, that you have to create the Buddhi in such a balanced intelligence, balanced Buddhi, Bodhavan. The Bodhavan means always be conscious. Bodhavan. Be conscious. Abodhavastha, Subodhavastha. Abodhavastha is that one who doesn't have the Bodha Buddhi at all. Anything comes, Vichara comes, does it. Vikara comes, does it. Buddhiman, he analyzes it, whether it should be applied to that situation or not. He may be honest, as I told you. That is why, from this, based on this only, the shloka of Satyam bruyat, Priyam bruyat, na bruyat, Satyam apriyam, that has been created. Even though it is Satya, you should know at what time it should be told, in which situation it has to be told, how it has to be presented. Not that, I am a Satyavadi. You are a useless fellow. Maybe right. And he will say that your body is no more useful now from today onwards. You become useless. He'll eat you so strong. So you have to know his strength. The Buddhi has to know before that to tell him that you are a useless fellow. She said, this is not the right time. Either you develop yourself to that strength or let him become weak. Wait for that. Small examples. No. Satyam bruyat, Priyam bruyat. Na bruyat Satyam, na Priyam. There's another sentence, Apriyam. That means at any point of time, you should not tell the untruth, is the third sentence says. So, the Buddhi, Bodha, Jnanam. This jnanam, this buddhi, as Lord Vinayak should be there in order to make your ahankara identified. It is your ahankara that leads you wrong again. I am big, I am great, I am this, I am that, I am small, I am good for nothing, I am this is also ahankara. Both are ahankara. Don't think that only is ahankara. Guilt is also ahankara. Oh no, oh what can I do? See, I am helpless, I am a poor chap, what can I do? That's also ahankara. That's also ahankara. The buddhi has to be consciously. You have to be conscious at all times. Is called the consciousness. That's called the buddhi utilization of the buddhi in the right manner. Is where the Vinayaka Vighneshwara is represented there. He stops all obstacles. So what happens? In our execution of karmas, all the obstacles will be stopped. Is why buddhi. Then comes above that is mana. Where the buddhi gets the informations from the mana. Mana should be also focused and balanced. That's why I had been explaining this. How can you make the mana focused and balanced? As I told you, if it is filtering through the ajnanam, the buddhi will also act according to ajnanam. If it is acting through the jnanam, the buddhi will act according to jnanam, ahankara will behave according to jnanam. That's all. Problem is solved. For all that, there has to be bhakti, shraddha and jnanam in the mana, which is again invisible, where we have to create this thought, pass through this jnanam. Thoughts will come. Let the thoughts come. For everybody, thoughts come. In the sense, people who have got experiences and who are having karma bhalas will all have the thoughts. So, these thoughts have to be filtered through the jnanam. Otherwise, at least one should have the readiness to listen to jnanis. That acceptance has to be there. That's why that everybody cannot become a jnani immediately. It's not possible. So, samarpana bhava and faith, vishwasa has to be there. Then the upasana and nididhyasana, through that one can attain what is necessary. Here we are talking about the Shastras and the Brahma Jnanam and Brahma Sakshatkaram. So we are discussing only about that kind of activity. But in general also, what I said has to be practiced about the Mano Buddhi Ahankara. Then only that invisible characteristics of that abstract which is there in us, which makes us function throughout life, which is not visible to us, which is not controlled by us, which cannot be seen by us, which is invisible, which is not seen. That is why it is no more there. That's why when the death is happening, neither that dies nor it saves itself. The mana is only a temporary faculty that is there with you only when you get your sharira. When your sharira is not there, mana is not there. But Atma is there. I told you last class about the Atma and Paramatma, what is called the Paramatma. How the Atma name has come, how the Rig Veda has identified Brahman and what is Brahman, everything has been explained in detail. So Mano Buddhi Ahankara, so Mana, control of the Mana and the faculty of Mana is not saying that, oh, I am a very straightforward, many people are talking about. I am a very straightforward person. There are so many curves in your body. You are telling you straightforward. In body itself there are so many curves and everybody wants curves, not straightforward. Am I right? Then we are saying straightforward. You have to put yourself in that status. When you put yourself in the status of that ahankara, a disciple or an upasak or an nididhyasak, putting himself into that position, he forgets about it. You are conscious about something only when you are not that. I have to be a disciple. I have to be a guru, I have to behave like this, I have to behave like that, I should do like this, I should do like that. What is that? Which you are not. What you are, that you are not saying. Right? What you are now, that you are not saying. I want to become this, I want to be like that, I want to become. That's it. Is good. Not saying it is wrong. It's okay. When you become, that means when your buddhi advises, mana advises buddhi, buddhi advises the ahankara, when your status of disciple comes, your position become elevated automatically. You are in the Chaitanya of the Mahaguru. When he is in the Chaitanya of the Mahaguru, the Chaitanya will prevail upon you and guide you. Mano, buddhi, ahankara will get fused and the direct information starts happening in us. So what happens? Never goes back also. So there, the activation of these different faculties for various instruments are not necessary because they are all fused into one. As I told you in the meditation, what happens? In the mana. So in mana, here it is difficult. How the mana can be transmitted, how mana has to be focused. The diversities of the mana, that means various diversities of mana, various contradictions of the mana, various conflicts in the mana, various beliefs and disbeliefs in the mana, various establishments of the mana has to be diluted into one. Which one? Which one of this what I am practicing is right? Difficult, except for tapasvis and jnanis, it is difficult to put the whole, where will you assemble it to, which one? Where will you assemble your mind which is diversified in various methods, various ways? Because you have thousands of ways the mind is flying. In every second it is there in thousands of places at the same time. Which one of this is right and where I have to bring it together, where to focus? For that also samarpana is necessary, upasana is necessary. That's why I said that since we do not know where to focus, where to bring it, we create a pratishtha. Remember the first chapter, first activity of the Nama Upasana, in that I said, do the pratishtha, let the mana rest into him. Come on, take the mind, my mind to you. So the mind is also gone, the mind is also gone, so you will not mind it. Yeah? You will not mind it. Therefore, sayo mano brahmetu paste yavan manaso gatam tatrasya yata kama kamacharo bhavati ya mano brahmetu pasaisti bhagavo manaso bhumiti manaso bhava bhuyosti didanme bhagavan bravitviti iti tritiya khanda samaptava, which I have already repeated. This repetition which I have already told in the previous class. What he said is that, hey, Deva Rishi, therefore, don't get into this confusion of sorting out the mana, buddhi, ahankara. You will go mad. Number of lives would not be enough. So what to do? The easiest way is that don't get into these diversities and complications. The more you go deeper into diversities, more of diversities you will find. Now to assemble it, it will become impossible. So coming back will be very difficult. So therefore, forget your trial of going deeper and deeper. Instead, hey Deva Rishi, submit it to the pratishtha. Let the mana, let your thoughts, let your actions, let your reactions, karma phala, submit it to him. Pratisthito bhava. Hey Bhagavan, pratisthito bhava. It's a request. You cannot order, hey Guru, pratisthito. You can't do that, no? You have to request, hey Bhagavan, pratishtito bhava. It's a blessing. It's a grace. Without that grace, even jnanam cannot be perceived. Can you concentrate? Suppose, okay, you're praying, you've got difficulties. You're praying the God. We all do that. संध्या दीपम लगाया, चढ़ाया, भगवान के सामने बैठा, नहाया अच्छा से ठंड में, and the vastra, silk vastra, which is the there which you have not washed for 3 years, but it is still new, because new vastra has to put on for praying, so 3 years old, new vastra has been wrapped around, and sit there with all the vidhis, warned everybody, I am doing the puja, please don't disturb, no entry, beware of puja, written on the door, and closed it. Then sat down, vidhi purvak, mano buddhi ragara, somewhere else. Neither the God is initially the God is in front of you. After that, God is in the what is it? Kya Bihari? Banke Bihari is in Bihar. I am also in Bihar. Mind is not there. You understood what I am trying to tell you? Even though we can take all the precautions, but we cannot control the mind. Why? Because why we are unable to control the mind? It is because of the ajnanam. It is because of the practice. It is because of the ajnanam. This jnanam has to be fed into the mana constantly. For that, the faith and grace has to be there. It's not possible. How to control the mind? It's not possible. For that, the only person who is sitting above, we call it as above, has to give a grace. Now come on, lose your consciousness. Finished. And only this will be there inside you. If that grace is there, finished. Everything is good. That's why this pratishtha, this ashirvadam, the grace is necessary, so that you can submit it there instead of getting in the whirlpool of that. Where will you identify this? How many species, how many jivas, how many jeevatmas, how many incidents, how many experiences, how to identify which one to be solved and where to focus on. We all say focus the mind, focus the mind. Where to focus and how to focus. Focusing is not a karma as a karma to be done. It cannot be done. Why? Because it is not attached with any karma. Focusing cannot be done by any of the faculty inside you as an action. Who has to focus? The mind has to focus the mind. How is it possible? Who will focus? I can say, move your hand. So mind will tell, move the hand. Look at there. So the mind will tell, look there. So you start looking at there. Control the mind. Who will control the mind? The mind has to control the mind. How will the mind control the mind? Will control the mind? No. Not your mind. That Pratishtha's mind will control your mind as his mind. And then you become one of that. So you are focused. When you are focused, you identify everything. You identify who and what, everything can be seen. Because you are seeing through those informations that you are getting through your mana. Today you are looking at things not as they are, you are looking at things as you are. As your mind is, as your information is, as your faculty is. This is how we look at it. The fear in mind is because that we have that expectations and we do not recognize the true identification of the jnanam is not there. We consider the loss or the trouble that what is coming to me as a trouble and loss is only an imaginary expectation. That's all. No, it will be a loss, or it will be a problem for me tomorrow. It will be difficult tomorrow. We do not know. We are presuming based on our previous experience. That's all. It is not necessary that it has to become a trouble, but we are warned based on the experience. Everything is based on the previous experience, and previous experience is wrong. Is why I have taken the rebirth. No, not all, not everything is wrong. Some of them are, many of them are wrong. Some of them are right. But we cannot depend upon that completely, so we have to improvise our buddhi. For that, Bhagavan Vinayak has to be present. Pratisthito, no way, we cannot, where all we will go? How to assimilate, where to focus, how to focus. So, better to do that. Have that faith. One has to understand this. I as an Ahankari, I cannot do all this. It's not discouraging your initiativeness. No. See, if you look at it in an external Bhautika Jivan and Bhautika idea, the management will say that no, this is the wrong principle. You should have that courage, you should have that initiative, you should have that killing instinct. All that words are used in the management. Killing instinct has to be there, and you have to have that initiative, that courage has to be there, so that you can do success, you can have a better result out of it. This is what it is told. As a Bhautika Jivan, this is what we think. By having that killing instinct, by having that by having that initiative, by this thing, what you can do? You can do it. Can you expect that same result, the result according to that? It may happen, it may not happen. But this has been told based on the previous experiences. With these experiences, this theory can function. According to physical acquisition of things, certain small things, yes, it is possible. I don't say it is not possible. But yes, that initiative has to come. From where the initiative will come? From the understanding, from mana, from the buddhi, from the ahankara. What is that killing instinct? What is that you be a manager of that initiative? That means he is asking you to change your ahankara. He is asking you to change your ahankara to that position. When you change your ahankara to that position, you will achieve that what is required in that position. Right. So the ahankara is that which is changeable. Every moment we change our ahankara. When you go to the father, we are the son. We respect, we regard. No? Listen to him. Even sometimes he is wrong. Listen to him. No. Father has told something will be there. Chalo chodo. Or worse come worse, after some time he'll say, Father, if it is not like this, can I correct it like this? Then he says, I think you are right. Go ahead. Take it. Even then you have to get a sanction from them. See, the change, you change there. The moment you come out of that, you be one who is acting according to that, your ahankara has changed. So what I am trying to tell you is that our ahankara automatically is changing in every position we are in. It is not static. In sannyasa or in the what is it? Adhyatmika Jivan or spiritual life, what he is telling that this ahankara should be static Brahman. That's all. That should not be changeable. The one who is changeable differently, he will keep on acting different. Every time, depending upon his ahankara, he will act accordingly. As I told you about eating alone and eating with friends. It'll keep on changing. So that which is changeable, that which is keep on changing, anityam, cannot attain the Brahman. So nityam only can attain the Brahman. So your ahankara has to be identified. When you identify the ahankara with the Brahman, you become the Brahman. When you become the Brahman, there is no more changes applicable to that. There are no transformations. There are no transitions. There are no transformations. There are no changes taking place. Whereas today what happened? You are passing through clashes of ahankara. What should I do? Is a question ultimately asked. I am being asked. I am being told. I am being questioned. I am being, incited. These are the words we use, is it not? I am being asked. I am the one who is being asked. I am being incited. I am excited. I am this, and I am being done. So, where all you will put yourself is why in our Bhautika Jivan we are unable to steady ourselves, because our ahankara changes. When you pray, you become a disciple. When you become a bhakta, when you are listening, you become a disciple. When you are doing something else, you become something else. Yes, it is necessary. But when you become Brahman, what happens? All these activities will come depending upon necessity without you initiating it. Today, you are initiating your ahankara. Who is initiating? The one who doesn't know. Who is initiating? The one who gives all the results to that invisible smoke. Who? Mana. With whom I can never converse, neither I can see him, nor ask him to come for a glass of dinner, so that at least I can influence him. He will run away. To him we submit it. Instead of submitting to him, you submit something to someone whom you know, you're sure. Pratishtito bhava. That's called samarpana. Now, is it samarpana good or samarpana bad? Otherwise, you keep on jumping from one tree to other tree like a monkey. Where to be stationary, which tree is safe? He doesn't know, so he keeps on jumping. So Bhagavan said, hey, Deva Rishi Sanatkumara, Bhagavan Sanatkumara said, Deva Rishi, forget. You do whatever you are doing now, no problem. But the cause of your, what is the cause? The sadness. The cause of your sorrow, sadness, and the cause of your not having peace, worry, disturbance, is only because you are trying to analyze that which is not analyzable, analytical, which is not analytical. The more you go into that abstract of mind, where will you begin? Where will you end? Which side of your mind you will start going in? Which side of the mind you will study and come out? First of all, what is its shape? Then only you can see which is the beginning and which is the end. That which is an abstract is not there. How will I go deeper into it and study the mind? So Deva Rishi, forget. Samarpana, he will take care of it. He knows what is that invisible, that invisible mischievous fellow who is there, always keeping in disguise and making you dance to his tunes. Let somebody who knows him, let him handle it. Why you want to unnecessarily, without any result. You can do it, but no one can get a result out of it. There's no way. Nobody. Nobody can authoritatively say, I have studied my mind. Okay. No? I have understood my mind. I have controlled my mind. Vairagya. That means, what is it? Renunciation. Be living in that consciousness of that pratishtha, or the guru, or the jnanam. So therefore, hey, Bhagavan, the one who meditates on mind as Brahman, he says here, as Brahman. Why? There should be nothing, as I told you. What is Brahman? There should be no Brahman you have not seen. I told you what's the meaning of Brahman, how the word Brahman has come. The Rishi ultimately ended up there. He cannot see, he cannot, this also cannot see, cannot analyze, and that is Brahman. So, you in a lower consciousness sitting cannot imagine about heaven, cannot imagine about devatas, cannot imagine about Brahman. It's not possible. So you have to have the pratishtha. Through that pratishtha, it has to go. Then only the focusing can be done. Then only you will go into a higher consciousness. So samarpana and upasana. Hey Devaguru, hey Devrishi, do tapasya on that. Do tapasya on the mana, that which is not there, which is creating all the problem. Do tapasya on that, in the sense, when we do tapasya, we do renunciation. Renounce the mind to that consciousness. So it will be explicitly clear. Then he goes to, then he is asking, hey, Venerable Sir, hey, great Maha Tapasvi, hey, Maha Jnani, hey, Maha Guru, hey, Bhagavan, is there anything more above the mana? Will you please tell me what it is there? So Bhagavan says, hey Devrishi, yes, there is something. What is that something? Above the mana is known as sankalpa, is it? Above the mana is sankalpa, thought. So that's why I gave you the path to that. Do you all remember all this, or kahani? Once upon a time, there was a mind which was not visible. So the Guruji told me that, look, don't believe that, you sit on that. Sankalpo bhava manaso, section 4. This is 741. Sankalpo bhava manaso bhuyanyada vai sankalpatate manasyastata vachamireyapi tamu namnirayati namni mantra ekam bhavanti mantreshu karmani. Sankalpa. Sankalpa, they said about the, in English they also said will, no? The willpower, power of mind, we said willpower, will. Sankalpam, Shakti of thought, Sankalpam. No? Sankalpam, initiation, initiative. That means intentionally thinking a thought is called Sankalpam. Am I right? That's why in Bhagavad Katha and all that, when you go, they will say, आपका संकल्प क्या है? आप समर्पण करिए. संकल्प आपको लिख के समर्पण करना होगा. In this sankalpa, when we go to the prayer, have to have a clear-cut concept. My mother used to tell me. So I'll say that I'm going to the temple. Not just like that, she will tell. Because we run and go to temple to get prasad, something to good eatable, and then you can put it on that and pray I should pass good marks and come back. This is how we pray. We used to pray. Right? We all, as children, used to pray. But my mother stops. Come. Where are you running? I said, I'm going to the temple. I'm going to pray. then she will say that. Not just going and praying like that. You should have a firm, well, meaning is that in our language it is different. And she says that you should have firm sankalpa for which you are. And don't ask for small things. Because small things you can achieve. Ask for that which is not possible by you. She used to tell that. But what is that? She did not explain. Ask for that. But this is how it is. You always get confused. Then it's okay. You should have sankalpa, what is not possible. Ultimate you aim for ultimate. Not for only passing this exam. Or not only for getting good marks, only for this particular exam. Some indication. You see, it's a great word. She has told it's Chhandogya Upanishad. Today when we are reading, I remember that words. How it has been told in the Upanishad here. Sankalpa. Sankalpo bhava manaso. This sankalpa is greater than the bhava manaso bhuyanyanda, than the mind. When anyone wills, then he thinks. See, when he wills, he thinks. Then, when he thinks, he speaks. Speech, because we are telling speech directly here. We discussed about the nama, speech, vang, mana, sankalpa. Are you getting the line of it? That is why I said here, Maha Rishi said speech. He did not say, I have explained in between the mana, buddhi, ahankara. So, when I say it that way, when sankalpa and a decisive intrusion to the mind, it's not an automatic process of the thinking that we are allowing it to happen to the mana or just pass on to the mana. I am intruding that automatic system of flowing of the thoughts which was rotten or good or bad, everything put together from the experiences of mine, from the previous janmas, experiences of yours from the previous janmas, but I am giving an interruption and a firm break to that and a firm direction to that. Look, this is what is to be done. Will is what? An instructions to the mana. An instruction to an interruption of the thought. Inclusion. No? Suppose there is a thought flowing like this. It's an intrusion to that. Putting coconut in the water. It was flowing. Now it has to flow with the coconut. Thought, intrusion of the will, it has to flow with the will now. There's no way. Who puts this will? We'll discuss the next class. Who puts this will? I said I put initiative and very firmly. Who is that strong person who can just defy the rule of the thoughts flowing into the mana, who was handling it very comfortably and without any intruder in between, and suddenly comes something called will. Something called suddenly, there's a change in the instruction pattern. It's not an instruction, it's an order. You have to do it. Hey, mana. Nobody has told me so far, who is this? So he gets scared. Well, not that. He doesn't get scared. Because anything that comes to the mind, he will execute it. Mana is impartial again. Why? Whatever thought comes to him, he analyzes with the support of the indriyas, knowledge acquired by the indriyas, transmitted to the buddhi and buddhi to the ahankara, ahankara to the indriyas and the sharira. That's why here he said about the speech only because through mano buddhi ahankara it comes to the speech. After the namopasana, the speech, then the mana. So then that will speaks through the speech. Then he impels that in the form of the names. How he speaks? That intrusion, that will come as a speech, when it is pronounced in the speech, that pronunciation becomes the Nama. Naturally, it's Nama. Whatever he said is Nama. Nama. Mantras becomes united. Namniyanti, Namni mantra ekam bhavanti. Becomes the mind in the names. So what happens? The mantras become united to the names. And the rights in the mantras. The rights in the mantras and mantras in the names, names in the speech and speech into the mana. Sankalpa. How to do the sankalpa? Who does the sankalpa? When it happens and why it happens. Think about it. Think about the will, not that I will think, will. Okay. Shambho Mahadeva.